We all cook, right? But what if I told you that simple, everyday act is actually the #1 cause of home fires? It's true. Almost half of all reported house fires start right there in the kitchen. Today, we're going to dig into the specific type of fire that can turn a simple cooking mistake into an absolute catastrophe.
So let me ask you this. In a room full of open flames, hot surfaces, and sharp knives, what do you think is the single most dangerous mistake you can make? Just take a second to think about it.
And there it is. It's probably not what you expected. The most catastrophic error you can make when a pan of oil catches fire is your very first instinct, throwing water on it. This is the kitchen safety shock we all really need to understand.
So how does this all go so wrong, so fast? Well, picture this, and I'm sure it sounds familiar. You're frying something, the phone rings, the dog needs to go out, you get distracted for just a moment. And honestly, that's all it takes. Unattended cooking is the #1 cause of these fires.
This temperature range right here, this is the danger zone. Between 400 and 450 degrees Fahrenheit is what's known as the auto-ignition point for most cooking oils. That means the oil can just, poof, burst into flames all by itself, no spark needed. Your pan of canola oil has just become a container of liquid fire.
So, in a moment of pure panic, you grab a cup of water and toss it on the flames. And this is where the physics gets absolutely brutal. The water, because it's denser than oil, sinks straight to the bottom of that scorching hot pan. There, it instantly flashes into steam, and we're not talking about a little puff. This steam expands with explosive force, about 1,700 times its original volume. And in doing so, it violently launches all of that burning grease up and out. You haven't put the fire out, you've just created a terrifying fireball.
That nightmare scenario we just walked through, that explosive grease fire, it actually has a name. It's called a Class K fire, and believe me, there is a very good reason it gets its very own classification.
The key thing to understand here is that a Class K fire is specifically about cooking oils and animal fats. This stuff is not like other flammable liquids, say gasoline. It behaves very differently when it burns. And hey, for our international viewers, you might know this is a Class F fire. It's the same dangerous beast, just with a different letter. So this is what makes these fires such a unique problem. First, the oil gets incredibly hot, and more importantly, it stays hot for a long time. This creates a huge risk of what's called a reflash. That's where you think the fire's out, but then suddenly it reignites. Second, and this is the really wild part, the fuel is saponifiable. It's a bit of a sciencey word, but it just means it can be turned into soap. And as we're about to find out, that chemical property is both the problem and, weirdly enough, the secret to the solution. Okay, so we've established rule #1. Water is out. It's a huge no-no. So your next thought might be that all-purpose ABC fire extinguisher you have under the sink, right? Well, grabbing that common extinguisher is the second major mistake you can make.
I mean, just look at the difference here. It's night and day. A standard ABC extinguisher blasts dry powder with enough force to literally splash the burning oil everywhere, spreading the fire around your kitchen. And more importantly, it doesn't cool the oil down. So the flames might go out for a second, but that oil is still scorching hot and can easily reflash. A Class K extinguisher, though, it uses a gentle mist that both cools the oil and performs that saponification trick, creating a soapy barrier on top. It smothers the fire and completely prevents that reflash.
Okay, so we spent a lot of time on what not to do. Now, let's flip the script and focus on what actually works. This is the actionable, life-saving stuff, the correct way to respond. This is the moment to totally reset your instincts. That primal urge to douse a fire with water or just blast it with whatever extinguisher you have handy, you have to fight it. It's wrong. What we're about to cover is what actually works and what will keep you safe. All right, for a small, contained grease fire, this is your first and best line of defense. First thing, stay calm. Second, turn off the heat. Do not, under any circumstances, try to move the flaming pan. Just calmly take a metal lid or even a baking sheet and slide it over the top of the pan, cutting off the oxygen. No oxygen, no fire. And then, and this is the most important step, leave it alone. Let it get completely cool. Don't peek. Now, if the fire is too big to safely smother with a lid, you need a Class K extinguisher. It is a brilliant tool because it delivers a perfect 1-2 punch. First, the wet chemical agent comes out as a fine mist that immediately starts to cool the oil, bringing its temperature down below the ignition point. At the exact same time, that saponification reaction we talked about kicks in, creating a soapy foam that blankets the surface and cuts off the oxygen.
It cools and it smothers, which is why it is so darn effective at preventing a reflash. So let's wrap this all up. Your kitchen is the heart of your home, right? It's a place of warmth, family, good food. But as we've just seen, it's also, statistically, the most likely place for a fire to start. If you take only one thing away from all of this, let it be this sentence. Please burn this into your memory. Never, ever, ever use water on a grease fire. It doesn't put the fire out, it makes it explode. This is the single most important piece of fire safety information you need for your kitchen.
And that leads us to our final question for you. Knowing what you know now about the unique danger of Class K fires, take a hard look at your own kitchen. Is it really protected? Do you have a metal lid or a baking sheet that's easy to grab in a panic? Have you considered investing in a real Class K extinguisher? A few minutes of preparation today can prevent a tragedy that you can't undo tomorrow.